I never understood why people cried over cars until last Tuesday. Now, I get it. A car isn't just metal and rubber. It's time. It's blood. It's late nights and skipped meals. I am a 23-year-old mechanic. 3 years ago, I dragged a rusted-out shell of a 1995 Nissan Skyline R33 GTR out of a junkyard. It didn't have an engine. The interior was moldy. The paint was peeling like a sunburn. My friends laughed at me. My parents said I was wasting my money. But I saw the potential. For the next 1,095 days, that car was my entire life. I sourced an RB26 DTT engine and rebuilt it bolt by bolt. I learned to weld so I could fix the chassis rot. I spent 6 months sanding the body until my fingerprints were gone, prepping it for the midnight purple paint job, a color so deep it looked black until the sun hit it. I poured roughly $40,000 of my own money into it. Every paycheck went to parts. I didn't date. I didn't go on vacation. The Skyline was my girlfriend and my trip to paradise. Last week, I finally finished it. I tuned it on the dyno. It made 600 horsepower. It was perfect. I brought it home and parked it in the driveway to wash it for its first car show the next morning. Then there is my stepbrother, Kyle, 19M. Kyle is a problem. He has wrecked 3 cars since he got his license. He treats the world like a video game where he can just respawn if he messes up. He has asked to drive the Skyline a dozen times. Every time, I told him, no, never. You don't have the experience to handle a car with no traction control and 600 horses. On Tuesday evening, I had just finished detailing the car. It was gleaming under the streetlights. I put the keys on the hook by the door, my mistake, and went upstairs to take a quick shower before dinner. I was in the shower for maybe 10 minutes. I turned the water off and reached for my towel. That's when I heard it. The sound of an RB26 engine starting up is distinctive. It's a low, guttural growl that shakes the floorboards. It's a sound I spent 3 years dreaming of. But hearing it right now, when I was the only one allowed to drive it, made my heart stop. I didn't even dry off. I wrapped a towel around my waist and sprinted out of the bathroom. Dad! Kyle! I screamed as I ran down the stairs, slipping on the wet floor. I reached the front door just as I heard the engine reverend. It wasn't a gentle reverend. It was the sound of someone mashing the gas pedal who didn't know what a twin-turbo engine does when it builds boost. I tore the front door open. I saw the taillights. The beautiful, iconic round taillights of my Skyline. Kyle was in the driver's seat. He had the window down. He looked back at me, standing on the porch in a towel, and he laughed. He actually laughed. Just taking her for a spin. Bro, he yelled. No. I screamed, lunging off the porch. Get out. You can't handle it. He dumped the clutch. The car didn't just accelerate, it launched. The tires smoked, screaming against the asphalt. The rear end kicked out violently to the right because the tires were cold and the power was immense. I watched in slow-motion horror as he overcorrected. He wasn't driving a Honda Civic. He was driving a race car. He swerved. He missed the mailbox. He straightened out for a split second, the engine screaming at the red line, and then he disappeared around the corner at 50 miles an hour in a residential zone. I stood there, barefoot on the cold concrete, water dripping off my nose, listening to the sound of my life's work fading into the distance. And then, about 10 seconds later, I heard the sound I knew was coming. Screech. Crunch. The silence that followed was heavier than the car itself. I scrambled back inside, my hand shaking so hard I could barely pull on a pair of gym shorts. I grabbed my phone. I dialed Kyle. Straight to voicemail. I dialed him again. Voicemail. I was running out the door to chase him on foot when my phone lit up. Unknown number. Hello. I answered, breathless. Is this my name? A stern voice asked. Yes. Where is my car? This is Officer Miller. We are at the intersection of Oak and 5th. There's been a collision involving a vehicle registered to you. The driver is being looked at by paramedics. I didn't ask if he was okay. I just hung up and ran. It was only 4 blocks away. As I rounded the corner of Oak Street, the flashing blue and red lights blinded me. But through the strobe effect, I saw it. Or what was left of it. My Skyline had hopped the curb and impacted a utility pole sideways. The driver's side was intact, But the front end was gone. The carbon fiber hood was shattered. The custom bumper was in pieces on the lawn. The midnight purple paint was scraped down to the bare metal. The engine bay, the heart of the car, where I had spent countless nights turning wrenches, was pushed into the firewall. The frame was bent into a V. It was dead. Kyle was sitting on the back of an ambulance, a foil blanket wrapped around him. He had a small cut on his forehead, but otherwise, he looked fine. He was texting. My stepmom, Linda, was already there. She had driven her SUV onto the lawn. She was hugging Kyle, stroking his hair. I walked up to the wreckage. I touched the twisted metal of the fender. It was still hot. You destroyed it, I whispered. Linda spun around. She looked at me with eyes blazing, like I was the one who had done something wrong. Don't you start, she yelled. Look at him. He's shaking. He could have been killed in that death trap. Death trap? I shouted, turning to face her. That was a precision-engineered machine. He stole it. He stole the keys and wrecked it. He didn't steal it. Linda shrieked. He wanted to take it for a drive. His family. You should have let him drive it ages ago so he knew how to handle it. This is your fault for being so stingy. Ich zerrte her. The logic was so twisted it made me dizzy. He wrecked my car, Linda. That is $40,000. That is 3 years of my life. Oh, stop being so dramatic, she scoffed, waving a hand at the pile of scrap metal. It's a 1995 Nissan. It's an old piece of junk. It probably broke down and caused him to crash. You're just lucky my son is alive. That's what matters. People are more important than things. He was speeding, the officer interrupted, walking over. Skid marks indicate he was doing at least 60 in a 25 zone. He lost control. See? I pointed at the cop. Reckless driving. Grand theft auto. Don't you dare. Linda stepped between me and the officer. You are not pressing charges against your brother. It was an accident. We will pay your little insurance deductible and it will be fine. I only have liability, I said, my voice cold, because it was a project car in testing. It wasn't fully insured for collision yet. Linda's face fell for a second, then she hardened. Well, that's your own stupidity then. We aren't paying for a 20-year-old car. You can sell it for parts. Now go away, you're stressing Kyle out. Kyle looked up from his phone. Sorry, bro. The turbo lag got me. That was it.
Noters. No palegi. Just turbolag.
I looked at the car. I looked at the family that treated my passion like a toy. Officer, I said, turning to the policeman. I'd like to report a theft. The officer looked from me to Linda, his pen hovering over his notepad. Sir, he asked again, his tone serious. I need you to be very clear. Did Kyle have permission to operate this vehicle? Linda glared at me. Her eyes were wide, communicating a silent threat. If you say no, you are dead to this family. I looked at the twisted remains of the skyline. I saw the custom manifold I had polished by hand. I saw the midnight purple paint flaking off onto the dirty asphalt. I thought about the 3 years of missed parties, the weekend spent covered in grease, the dream that was finally real, for exactly 1 day. No, I said, my voice loud and steady. He did not have permission. He took the keys from inside my house without my knowledge. He stole it. You liar. Linda shrieked. She actually lunged at me, but the officer stepped in between us. That's enough, the officer said. He turned to his partner. Cuff him. Kyle looked up from his phone, confused. Wait, what? Kyle, last name. You are under arrest for grand theft auto and reckless driving, the partner said, pulling Kyle's arms behind his back. Mom! Kyle yelled, panic finally setting in as the cold steel clicked around his wrists. Mom, stop them. He's pressing charges. Linda screamed at the officer, pointing a shaking finger at me. He's lying. It's a misunderstanding. OP, tell them to stop right now. You are ruining his life over a car. He ruined my car, I said. And he risked lives. He's 19, Linda. He's an adult. He can explain the turbo lag to the judge. As they shoved Kyle into the back of the cruiser, He started crying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just wanted to look cool. It was too late. The civil suit. The criminal charges stuck. Kyle pled guilty to a lesser charge of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle to avoid prison time, but he got 3 years of probation and a permanent criminal record. But that didn't bring my car back. And since Linda had refused to pay voluntarily, I went for the jugular. I hired an attorney who specializes in automotive valuation. We didn't just sue for the book value of a 1995 Nissan. We sued for the appraised value of the restoration. I had receipts for every part: the HKS turbos, the Brembo brakes, the paintwork. The total claim was $58,000, car value plus labor and loss of use. Linda and my dad, who finally got involved, trying to mediate but ultimately siding with his wife, were furious. We don't have that kind of money. Dad yelled at me over the phone. You're bankrupting us. Then maybe you should have taught your son not to steal, I replied. The verdict. We went to court. Linda tried to argue that the car was old and worthless. My lawyer brought in a professional appraiser who testified that a 33 GTRS are appreciating assets and that my specific build was of show quality. The judge ruled in my favor. Judgment: $58,000. The aftermath: they had to refinance their house to pay me. Linda had to sell her new SUV. I took the check. I didn't buy another project car immediately. I bought a small house with a massive 2-car detached garage. I installed security cameras and a reinforced steel door. I finally bought another shell last month, a 1998 Toyota Supra. My dad called me recently. He asked if I was coming to Thanksgiving. Is Kyle going to be there? I asked. Yes, of course, Dad said. His family. Then I'm busy, I said. I hung up. I walked into my garage, locked the heavy steel door behind me, and picked up a wrench. It was time to build again. And this time, nobody was going to touch it but me.